It's a Sunday, fun
Mm-hmm.
day. I'm hyped.
You know I was ready for this.
Anytime you can get a Wayne Gretzky patch jersey autograph for well under $1,000.
I mean, you start up hot. I mean, they expect you to maintain that throughout your whole career. But, everybody knows there's ups and downs to everything.
What do you guys think of Marvel cards?
I think it's a great move.
So when it comes down to card value, right? Breeze and Aaron Rodgers don't compare to Tom Brady. It's us. What's up, everybody? What's going on? JD is going to be here just in a little bit, and I just want to kick this off and say hello. See who we got here in some comments. Rookie Card Finder. Thumbs up from early. It's good to have you here. Thank you for being here. Early bird gets the worm. What's going on with everybody? How was everyone's weekend? Was it good? Around the country, there should have been pretty decent weather, right? Decent weather. If anybody's out there, let me know what you got into. We got a few people here. What did you do this weekend? Anybody go to any shows? Say anything exciting? Anything new? Let me know. Get my bib right here. Let me know what was going on this weekend. How's the anyone watching NBA games ending tonight? This is the last of the regular season. After this, the playoffs begin. There are some playing games that are scheduled that are coming up, which should be interesting. You know, when you take a 7 and an 8 and you take a 9 and a 10 and you have those teams play to see who's going to get into the playoffs, should always be interesting. I just want to see how interesting it's going to be. So picking up cars market as well. Shed more light on that, Rookie Card Finder. Tell me more about that. How low is it? What are you seeing? I'd like to know. But just going back in the playoffs, my biggest question. What's up, Big Bang, Little Bang? What's up? Oh, we got JD here.
What's up, y'all? My bad.
What's going on?
How you doing, man? My bad.
How are you?
Ran a little late. The flight got delayed, so had to rush over here.
It's all good. At least you're safe, man.
What's up? Hey, so how was the show yesterday?
Show was good.
You went to the Escondido show on Friday?
Escondido. First time I've ever been to Escondido, man.
How was that one?
It was good. It was a good show.
Man, I was like, damn, FD and Escondido on a Friday night?
Yeah, Escondido.
How was the drive? Did you guys do that?
No Cardstock show for you, FD? Yeah, I went to Cardstock yesterday. Yeah, I was at Cardstock for a few hours. I was at Cardstock, yeah. Alpha 21. If you were there and I missed you, let me know. Did you go early? Did you leave or something? Or were you there? Let me know. But JD, I thought the show was good yesterday. I picked up 2 cards. It was a pickup of something I had seen before. Remember we were at LA Proper?
I know you picked it up, right?
Yeah, I picked it up.
The Luca?
Yeah, the Luca. Yep.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Finally picked it up.
Yeah, a Rookie Card Finder says you just think it's time to buy. Sales are slow. I was just asking before you got on if anybody went to any car shows, what did they see? And Rookie Card Finder just replying to that. So that's a perfect segue. So what was the Bay Area show like?
It was nice. Really, really nice.
I knew it was going to be.
Yeah. It felt like a really big show for a Sunday. It was really packed. The way it was. You remember how we went to Pachanga?
Yeah.
How that layup was?
Yeah.
It was like the layout was just like that. So it was nice.
Okay.
Only problem was the internet issue in there. No Wi-Fi. No I didn't have any service. So that's what I wanted to get into. Remember last week how we were talking, how could people start negotiating while comps?
Mm-hmm.
Today was a perfect example.
I wanted the first thing that would come to my mind is like I'm talking about the car. Let me step out.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Maybe take some screenshots
Yeah.
and come back. I learned a long time ago that if you have a presentation of something you're doing, work,
Hmm.
personal, group, whatever, you got to make sure technology is not the barrier, man.
Yeah, and that's how it felt today with everybody because everybody's like, man, I don't know. I mean, I was a victim today too, just because I was looking at some Devin Bookers and I didn't do my research like we always talk about, making sure we do our research on the card, and I wasn't sure if I was too high or was I too low or it was just right. So I
When you
walked.
get to a show, though, JD,
Hmm.
I may see anything that
Yeah,
I may not have a number right in my head of what it should be, but then you know you look it up or you check it out if you can.
yeah, but I had to walk out like across the street from the hotel because there's so many people there. So can you imagine everybody just being on their phone?
Oh yeah, bro, that doesn't
So
work like
that kind of killed it. But um, I got to the point where I started calling people on their lifeline. You know the what was that show when you had to
Who
use?
wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, I was using my
You were
lifeline.
calling people, hey man,
Yes.
I'm sitting here looking at this book of card, man.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I called Christian Dimes and Dividends. I was like, "Yo, what's this price looking like?" And he told me, and
That's a smart
ma-
move, really.
yeah, because I couldn't figure it out. I was just sitting there on eBay and everything, just trying to wait for it to load. And at that point, I just started using my negotiation skills. So it was cool. I mean, I was looking at some Devin Bookers, some Kabooms, Prisms, like all these stuff, and I felt like I was out of the game today just because I wasn't able to look through my phone. You know, with
Yeah,
my
that would be different. That would be different.
so I can only imagine. So this is I felt like damn, this is probably how the card shows used to be years ago,
Oh
where you
yeah,
just had to trust the seller or you had
oh
to
yeah,
trust your gut.
yep,
So it
yep.
was crazy.
So the Reverend Rip says, "What's up, bros? Was there any hockey tables?"
Nah, not over here. Only on the East Coast I see hockey.
Yeah, you don't see. I was at the show on Cardstock, and I saw a little bit of hockey. Gretzky, all the names that we would know. I saw a little bit, but it wasn't like. And I got a chance to. I got to the show. I don't know about 2 o'clock, something like that. 1 o'clock, one between 1 and 2, and I didn't get a chance to go through the whole show. I
Really? Did you
probably saw about 45 to 50% of the show.
I was man. Let me tell you how it happened yesterday because I was ready to go. I finished all my work at work. And again, guess what happened? I lost my key fob to my car. So I was searching for like an hour and a half looking for
What
it.
did you find it at?
It was in one of the cages,
Okay,
luckily. So I
okay.
just gave up at that point. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and just finish everything, get ahead of work. And at 3 o'clock, they found it for me, and I was like, man, there's no point. The show ended
I
at what,
understand.
3, right? 3 or
Yeah,
4.
somewhere around there, like 4.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
end up stopping by Burbank?
No, Burbank got closed down because it was an outside show, and
Oh,
so
God.
the weather was pretty warm.
Oh, yeah, I
So I
figured.
think that they didn't have any tents up, anything. I did see some footage of what the setup looked like. It was like just tables on the sidewalk. I think.
Yeah, I wanted to. I had a plan. I was right. I had my content ready for this weekend. I was gonna go to the Cardstock and then stop by Burbank and then go to this show and then I would have had some good stuff. But I had to pivot a little bit.
Well, things happen, man.
Yeah, I know. I
Things
was like,
happen. So Sin City cars. What's up, Sin City? How you
what's
doing?
up, Sin City? How you doing?
FD and JD. What's up, guys? Good to see you here, sir. Sylvester. Are people too reliant on technology too much? Then I wouldn't think. I think things happen.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of technology at our fingertips now that tells us a lot of information about cards, and people are using it.
Hmm.
But I don't.
I think uh maybe for the younger newer generation, I think so. For me, I just felt like today I wasn't going in looking buying certain cards today, but that's all I saw today. Everybody had those cards, so that's why I was like, okay, let me try to make do what I had in front of me because there's a lot of bookers, a lot of draws, like there's a lot of cards you don't really see as much. But with the playoffs coming around in baseball, kind of hit me left field, but it was cool.
How much football did you see out? Because I went to Cardstock.
Hmm.
No, sir.
Oh man, I know football is bad when the Patrick Mahomes silver PSA 9 rookie was going for like a grand. That don't go for a grand. So there was a lot of plays, but it was just one of those things where again, like if you second guess your choices, like your second guess your decisions, then don't do it. For me, you know,
True. True.
'cause
True. True.
I didn't want to walk out of there, and then I checked the comps when I'm like getting back on the Uber to or the shuttle to the airport, and I'm just like, man, I kind of overpaid, or you know what I mean, just overextended too much.
So rookie card finder said, did you see any V friends out there?
Nah, I saw a lot of vintage, a lot of 1972s, the cool bears or polar bears. I don't know what they're called. I saw a lot of that. You know, they're like
Oh, you
really.
talking about the big basketball cards?
Yeah, yeah. I saw a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saw Oscar Robinson, Magic, Jerry West, all of them. It was a good. It was a lot of Pokemon, of course. That was about it. Nothing. So this is how I felt this week. You know how we always have our shows back to back to back in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Premiere, then you have Cardstock, you know, where you
Yep.
have Diamond Nine.
Yep.
I felt like I was in the Bay Area type show this weekend, going back to back. So I saw the same vendors, so I saw the same cards. So
Okay.
it felt like that, but at the same time, I wanted to see how the vibe was like. You know, get myself out there, meet different people, which I did. Met a lot of new owners of stores and how their business is doing up in the Bay compared to down here. So it was cool.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Reverend Rips. Here's an interesting take on the hobby. Influencers are talking about base being dead, but that is where most showgoers play. I think there is a lot of disinformation happening.
Yeah, super. Just but I mean, if you want to get more bang for your buck, you of course you want to get the numbered and the auto stuff, right? But if you want to be safe and you just want to be able to move things liquid, then yeah, the base is there. Don't think that
So,
it's not.
JD, the question is, right? Let's
Mhm.
dig into this, right? Get our shovels out and dig into this. Why do you think people are saying the base is dead? Is it because base is not producing what it did 2 years ago?
It's too much. I mean, perfect example, the Luca and Zion and Ja. You see it there, but it's so weird. I didn't see a lot of base Zion. I mean, I know why, sir. I didn't see a lot of base Lucas. I didn't see a lot of base John Morant's. Like all those cards back in 2019 and 2020 were that rookie class. It was all over the place. I
Sure.
didn't see it.
It's interesting. Some of the trends, some of the things you notice from place to place is interesting. And some of the stuff that you're saying is kind of what I saw yesterday. And I spend time now more in the show, kind of understand what's going on in this show.
Yeah, me
And
too.
when I first show up, I'm looking around like talking to people, but we're like, what's at tables? What's happening right now?
No, I was in the same boat too. This today, um, I wanted to take a different approach. I wanted just to see exactly what cards, like you said, were out and
Hmm.
why. So
Hmm.
I took my time. It was a big show, but I still had enough time to still roam around the city and leave early. But it was good. I was able to just see where people's mindsets at, like why they're putting this card out and what was the reasoning behind it. So it was cool.
Did anybody shed some light on that? Like, why were they putting the card out? Oh,
That is of
anybody
course
speak on that?
the biggest thing was baseball's back, and then and the NBA playoffs is starting, so everybody will start bringing out like I said, the Bookers, more Jaws. You don't see a lot of more Lucas, some Embiid. I can't think of off my head. Well, a lot more KD, obviously, more Steph, more Clay.
Okay.
Like this more big names coming out with the playoffs around the corner.
Yeah,
So
stuff that
it was
people
pretty
have
cool.
were like had back in the back for a little bit. Now it's hitting the table.
Yeah, a lot of more MJ stuff. Well, man, I saw a lot of MJ stuff today. Haven't seen as much MJ in a while.
Hmm.
So it was, especially coming in the Bay. I didn't think
You
MJ
got to
was.
put every once in a while. You got to pull a goat out, man. You know,
No, I didn't hear what you say.
I say every once in a while you got to pull a goat out.
Oh no, but I mean he had a set, a showcase full of MJs. I
Oh
mean
wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. So Sylvester Boston says he agrees with the Reverend Rips. It's interesting that we were talking about disinformation. Whenever
Yeah.
I hear something like that, I'm always wondering about what's the like why. What are Reverend comes back. Speaking of Pokemon, my son just got his first edition sub back. 22 PSA 10s, 28 PSA 9s.
Wow.
Your son's on the move,
Congrats.
Reverend Rips.
He knows he got a good eye.
Yeah, yeah. People bought in very high and cannot afford to take the hit. Yeah, that's what
That's
it is.
true.
That's what it is. You can't talk. No one is really talking about, hey, I did this and this is what I was thinking at the time. Because I would really like to talk to
Yeah,
someone and
people
not
don't
point
want to talk
fingers.
about
I would
that.
just like to learn. Like I like to talk to someone who was buying heavy when cars were just straight going up.
They're
And
not
then
going to talk about that.
no, they're not
That
going to talk about that. And then what do they think? What were they thinking at the time?
man, I was lucky enough to move most of my stuff. I still have them. They're down. They're somewhere down here. I haven't. After the last few shows I've been going to, I want to set up now. I miss that feeling of setting
Oh,
up
you set up at Pachanga. What's the last show you set up at?
pachanga. Oh
Okay.
no! I'm lying. By myself or just in general.
Either. Oh
Probably
no, you were at
yeah, Philly.
Premier.
Oh, I was, huh?
Yeah,
But I
you
was,
were at
but
Premier.
I had a time limit though. That don't count.
Okay.
But the last time I like actually sat down and just focused on just sitting there, it was probably the Philly show. But I'm really debating on the Del Mar show if I want to set up or not. That's why I gotta talk to you later. See if what's the
Okay.
plan. Our plan's gonna be because I wanna move, but I want to sit too. So maybe we could do something where we all do. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. It's all
Because
good. So Alpha 21 said base is just that basic. I think people are getting smarter and want the rare cards for the
yeah,
future.
it's true.
Reverend Rick, so I agree. A lot of people ball high and now either have to hold or take the L.
Yep.
Uh, Rookie card finder says rookie base is a good card. It's the first card, isn't it? I think for most people, it's the first
I
card.
think it's more affordable.
Yeah,
Affordable, right?
I don't think there's anything wrong with. I mean, I just don't know what kind of return people are looking for, and
Mhm.
that return has changed. So we all know that. So, but
Yeah,
if I see someone with a PSA 9 or 10 base, I always ask them like, "What's your strategy? What are you trying to do, and what time frame? Because you might have to adjust your time frame."
yeah, but I think like remember we had a discussion a few weeks ago about the kids coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids are not gonna be able to afford those number
Nope.
color prism. Like
Nope.
the base is probably what
So,
they start with.
so when I talk to those collectors, I ask them the same question: "What's your strategy, and what's your timeline?"
And what did they? Do you mind sharing?
Most of them say they do not know because I think when they probably got into the hobby or when they started down the road of flipping cars or buying and selling, the time frames were more aggressive. I mean, you
Mm,
could buy something Monday, and by the next Monday, you may have made two moves.
yeah, it's a different game. I think, but like you said, when they got into it, I think, like you said, it's the disinformation they got to. The information, the content that was being produced at the time was like, oh, buy this, buy that. So I think, unfortunately, people buy into the hype. So I guess it goes back to everything we said a few minutes ago, which is crazy.
So, Sin City Cards asks a good question: what's the play on comic books version variants? Now, variants. Do you want to have this conversation? We should have this conversation. Right? Variants, you really got to watch out for. If you have a comic, and now they have variants by how many of a particular comic did the comic book store order. So if you order so many, then you get different variations, like 1 out of 25, 1 out of 50, like that, right? But unlike cards, there are some comics that do this, but unlike cards, comics don't tell you how many are in population.
Hmm.
So if I'm looking at a John Morant National Treasures, I know 99 are in population, RPF, right? On the comic book, you don't know that. You just know that it's less than the main cover that's out there. And
Yeah,
so people are diving into comics for the variants, but some of the variants could be highly produced and easily found. So it's just something you got to watch out for because, now if you got something signed by Stan Lee,
that's different.
yeah, it's different. It's totally different. He only signed so much. People want a Stan Lee signed comic. Comics originally was signed just like a book inside the cover on the first page, probably at the bottom, maybe the top, most likely at the bottom. But because of collections and then grading comics, the autograph went to the cover. Just like when I first started collecting autographs, right, on jerseys, the jersey was signed inside the neck of the jersey.
Really?
Yeah, that's why athletes signed the jersey. So if you
Why?
find stuff that was signed in the '60s or the '70s, or somebody got it signed at the stadium, it's in the neck back here. Well, you
But
can see it if you frame the jersey, but it's inside the
what was
top.
the reasoning behind that? I didn't know that.
I just think that was the norm for where to sign.
Um,
That was the main. Just like if you got a baseball, most people are signing on the sweet spot, unless you find these players who believe that sweet spot is for the manager. Like if you go way back and baseball's being signed, manager signed on the sweet spot. So you'll see a lot of balls. Jackie Robinson now on the sweet spot, and a lot of these older players didn't want to be out of respect for the manager. They want to show up the manager. So these things evolve over time. So now you got autographs wherever on the jersey, so that it's easily frameable and can be seen. So
I didn't.
going back to comic books, people now sign on the cover. You can get it graded. The autograph is visible. Some older, like Jack Kirby, signed some stuff where it's inside the cover, and you'll never see the autograph if you got it graded. But in the notes up top, it'll tell you that it's signed by Jack Kirby.
Wow.
Still very valuable. Still well sought after in the comic book collecting community, but it's just different. So as you learn those nuances of time, things change. You know,
I
but I
can.
think comic books are something that does not go away. Uh,
Mm-mm.
I think it's here. There's a story. It ties to characters. It's the original
It's a
form.
blueprint. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
blueprint.
it was saying the same thing. Yeah.
It's a blueprint. That's never gonna go away. Like,
So this takes me into. And I want to get to some comments here before I get into this. We talked about base, Alpha 21. Yes, smarter, but you can make money with base. The last two shows I cleared 6 and 5K respectfully.
mm,
I had already paid for all of the slabs using my nines.
wow.
Yeah, that's the strategy right there. Reverend Rips usually comes with it. Since Sin City, I just added comics to my portfolio. What do you think? What do you two think is the play other than first appearances? Oh, you got first appearances. You got certain storylines. So that's a different thing about comics, right? Comics were made for people who are reading comics and getting into the storylines and what's happening in the comic. That's very important. So, did a team come together that may be influential in the future of comic history? Did someone leave a team? Did a major character die? Those are things that you get into when you start talking about comic books. So when you find stuff like that, then that's what you want to go after.
That
But
makes sense.
I think research. This is no different than we were talking about cards. The
Yeah.
thing about comics to me, there's a real barrier of entry. That is the word research. Now, in cars, people can say, "Yeah, I'm research," but there's only so much you really have to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's John Morant in today's market, there's a higher price tag probably. If it's numbered, if it's autographed, if it's on card, is it a sticker? Those are the kind of things you need to know. But in comics, everything we're talking about, like you kind of got to know what the storyline is. Are you going to take your time to read something? Are you going to take the time to really look something up and find? It's almost like trying to, JD, if you wrote a 20-page paper
Mm-hmm.
and I'm quickly trying to understand what that paper was about, it's difficult. I got to take the time to read the paper.
Yeah.
That's what comic books are. And this is why, we'll get into some stuff here, but I think
But
more people go to Marvel cards than go to comics because it's less of a barrier of entry.
it's easier to consume.
Yeah, it's
I
easy to make the transition too. If I'm buying and selling cards, they have the same shape, they take up the same amount of space on my table if I'm at a show. I include them and now I'm diversifying what I'm selling.
mm,
But if someone comes up and asks you about Spawn 1 and what happened in that and what led to Spawn 1, then we gotta
that's
we gotta know.
crazy. But I think that's the same thing with content today. Content today too. It's the same thing, right? People want
Mhm.
to
Oh yeah, I
discuss.
agree with that.
I
Oh yeah, I
mean,
agree with that. Totally.
I mean, you see all these social media platforms now, they're trying to push this 15-second content now. Like that's what they want you to do. Some of them want you to do it in 5 seconds. Try to give as much information as possible in 10 to 15 seconds, which is practically impossible for me.
Hmm.
So but sometimes those 5 minute vlogs or videos are like super. It depends how you present it, right? And the
Yeah.
information you're doing. If you get straight to the meat and bone, like straight to the meat, then you don't play with anything else. Like, but that's what I'm saying with you. At least with your content when you're going out with G, like it's straight to the point. You
Hmm.
could sit there. Other people is just they beat around the bush. So that's why I feel like the content that's just gets straight to the point, like this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing, is like the best content. It's easier to consume because there's always this is just straight to the point. And that's how I feel like same thing what you're saying about the comics and the cards. The comics is there, it gives you the origin, but the cards just get straight to the point because most of the time there's a picture of what they did that summarizes the whole story of the comics.
But now what you're saying that brings about almost like two different collectors.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have that. Then there's a bridge, and that bridge, I think we're still trying to understand: is it under construction or what is it? Right?
That's gonna
Because a comic book reader, if you talk to somebody that's really into comic books, they're not looking at a
yeah.
Marvel card, man.
Yeah, because they could look at the page. There's probably a certain page or a quote
Mhm.
in that the comic, or they just probably touch them in a way that a card won't. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right,
Probably
card's not gonna hit it.
Peter would probably Peter Parker probably said like I can't think of a line. When Ben Uncle Ben died,
Yeah.
with great power because like that line probably they could look at that page like, oh yeah, that brings sentimental value rather than Spider Man just like shooting his web slinger at something.
Mhm. There's a difference. I didn't create it. Everybody that's out there that's like, is there a difference? Yeah, there's a difference. If you walk into a comic book store, go into your local comic book store and pull out some Marvel cards. And
Mm,
just talk to the owner of the comic book store and see if you find any Marvel cards in there for sale.
you're not. It'd be rare.
You're not gonna see it. It just doesn't happen. There's a division in the comic book world between graded and not graded. So we're talking not on, then on top of that, you're talking about Marvel cards. It's a different world. Reverend Rip says that FD, I paid off for all my subs. I run up with nines and hail all my tens, pure profit. I have an economic background and understand the business. I can tell by what you're saying that you do. Colorado Sports too. Hello all. Card show here this weekend. I picked up an awesome Boba Fett. Finally have one of his cards. Very cool.
Baseball's
Uh,
a move right now.
Baseball is what's happening. There's a lot of prospects out there, right? There's a lot of people with
But baseball's a lot. There's a lot of prospecting for
a lot of
baseball.
prospecting. So
There's so much
but is it prospecting or are we
gambling.
is it gambling? Because I
Uh,
was at the show Saturday and I'm just walking around and I was just taking in the baseball moves that were happening. And there was some dollars being moved around for players we don't know a lot about.
yeah, I don't
People
even
talk
know
about
who.
track record and resume. That resume is pretty empty.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm looking at all these players I never heard of until today. I mean, I know Joey Bart, the guy from the Cardinals, the guy, the Alex Bohm, just like the typical players, like rookies. But I'm seeing all these new cats. I'm just like, man, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what their potential's like. I don't know where they're ranking. And see, there's rankings within the organization, and then there's rankings with the MLB.
Hmm. Oh
So
yeah,
like it's crazy. Is that prospecting is hard. It's totally hard compared to baseball. I mean, compared to basketball and football, it's a lot harder because there's more to it. Baseball is like you gotta be able to, could he hit, could he pitch, could he play defense? What's this? It's so much that baseball's crazy. It's deeper than basketball. It's way deeper. People think it's boring, but it's more. If you really know baseball, man, there's levels to baseball.
but let's look at Reverend Rips. The fact people are going crazy for Franco
Oh yeah.
base tops 22 is not smart.
Yeah. I think did you see the PSA 10? The PSA 10 sold for I don't know how much. It was a couple G's for a PSA 10. And it's paper. It's not even chrome or anything. It's not
But
even
we all know in the hobby though, right? When stuff first comes out,
Yeah, first who has it first. Yeah.
You know that graph is going up. You already know that.
Yeah. That graph is that's not a that that's why you gotta be patient when the first the products first drop. You just gotta just be patient, let the market correct itself because
That's what I was saying.
you
But
don't
people
wanna
still making moves though. People make moves.
but perfect examples the WWE Prism that just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean people are going crazy
What
on
is
that.
that stuff for box 1200?
I don't know, but I didn't think it was gonna be this crazy. But it's cool. But it goes back to like what the product they're putting out is really good. Like the Rock's doing the Rock Bottom,
Yeah, yeah,
Stone
yeah.
Cold's
Yeah,
doing the
it's
Stunner.
quality product. Yeah.
It's really good. And then man, just wait in a few months that thing's either gonna go up or it's gonna go down. But it's its first year Prism, so the value has to go up, right?
So let's jump into this because Sin City has kicked it off. I was waiting still a little bit. Let's jump into this. So Sin City says Marvel PMGs are taking on a big correction in the market. Golden just flooded the market this weekend and prices are dipping. A
Dang.
Blue Wolverine BGS 8.5 sold for 70K 2 months ago. So today
Damn.
for so let's get into these dates, right? Because I know it was right around 2 months ago. But let me pull up something. And so, did everybody hear about the 2013 Marvel Fleer Retro Captain America
Mm-mm.
PSA? Let's get into this, people. Let's just talk right quick. And we're going to talk straight facts, right? I'm not putting in any personal opinion. I'm going straight facts right now. So, on February 24th of 2022, that car sold for it sold for $88,806.
Damn.
February 24th of 2022, right? So on April 9th of 2022, the same car sold for $22,200.
Damn.
Just let that sink in, like we're watering the flower, right? Just let that sink into the soil. Let's take that in right quick. So we're talking about from the 24th of February to the 9th of April. Is that 6 weeks?
Yeah. Dang.
So what is that saying? What does that say?
Somebody.
That's
Dang.
what Sin City just said. Marvel PMGs, because this is a PMG I'm talking about, are taking on a big correction in the market.
That's crazy. But why?
But JD, did you see this? Did you see this coming?
I mean, I felt like it was already too high in the first place. So only direction it could go is for me it was down just because of the. I mean, what is Wolverine gonna do? You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
you sitting in a stadium, man. I went to the
Yeah.
Angels game the other day, right? I went to the
How was
Angels
that?
game.
How was that like?
It was cool. It
Because
was real
this is because it was real before we get into it. It was first time post COVID.
cool.
So was it like
So
how
the
it used
stadium
to?
was. I walked in thinking I was still on this shutdown mindset. I don't know why.
Uh
So I walked in. There were vendors serving or walking around selling products. I didn't see anyone with a mask on, or anything like that. It was a cool environment. Angel Stadium has a different demeanor than Dodger Stadium.
it's nicer.
Yeah, so it was typical Angel Stadium demeanor. Uh, Fans don't get too loud. Fans don't get too quiet.
Hmm.
Uh, the Angels lost. Otani was on the mound. He pitched pretty well. He didn't have two run support to
Of
get him over.
course.
That was a rule change that I don't think I knew anything about. So shame on me, right?
Uh huh.
Otani was pulled from the game as a pitcher, came back and hit later in the game.
Yeah, that's the new rule this year.
Yeah, see, it blew my mind. I wasn't up on that. Man, I was probably out of the show negotiating a card deal or something, right? That
Yeah.
snuck up on me. So that was cool because that changes the strategy of what's going on now. So
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. It was a cool game, right? I met up with OG Cardstock.
Oh
Right?
wow.
Yeah, sat down, talked to him for a little bit. It was cool. I never met him before in person, so it was cool. Um, yeah, so that game was cool, but I'm just thinking about as I was sitting there, I looked to my left, and OG and I are talking, and the crowd starts doing the wave,
Mm-hmm.
right? The crowd starts,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there, just symbolism. This is no joke, bro. I'm thinking like that's the market right now.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
It's just up and it's up, and then it'll come down, and then something else will go up, and then something else is gonna come down.
That's true.
It's
No,
almost like like the market is searching for something.
I just think, uh, but it's, you know what the problem is too is this the deals that go down at these shows, they're not getting labeled. I mean, labeled. They're not getting a price that you know what I mean. So realistically, is people really buying it at that comp, or are they buying lower, or are they selling lower? So
Well,
the market
I
is
saw some
crazy.
people, just like every trade or whatever. I saw people putting cars they had with cash to get something else, but there could have been a gap there between what the total was of the car that you wanted and what your car value that you had in your hand and the cash represented together compared to what the price of the car sold for actually. So, like I saw someone looking at a Wanda Franco car for 5,000, and I could have missed part of this conversation. So, but it seemed like to me that um, a person had a car worth about 2,300, 2,400. I had 2,000 in cash. And I don't know what that gap between that, what, 44, 4,600 and the 5,000. I don't know what happened there. I got caught up in another conversation. Someone tapped me on the shoulder, had to talk. So when I turned back around, that deal was done. But I just don't, that made me start to think too, like, are there some times where the car plus cash does not meet the value? And maybe then we get into a conversation and we talk through stuff. And someone may talk themselves into a better deal. I don't know. But it's interesting, man. I just think that it seems like the market is looking for something next.
I think that the market is. I agree, but the market is too. It fluctuates. It's scary because it's not. There's, but look at it. You got eBay. People look at eBay, more graphs, alt, card ladder, all these other all these other pricing apps. So sometimes they're all not accurate because they all have their own way of pricing a card. You know, because
Hmm.
they go by the alt has their alt value, and then card ladder has their own thing, and eBay has. I didn't know eBay had their own thing too, but it's just the market is just it's based on what your perception of it is because it's hard. No one's ever gonna
Well,
be right.
I think just to be fair, right? It's only hard for the
Sellers.
new cars that are out.
Yeah.
Which has been out for quite a while, and even the cars that are vintage, it's probably less volatile.
Yeah, yeah, I agree because it has a history, literally history of what the market is. Because the newer cars, like you said, is harder. Like you're not gonna be able to value a Wando Franco or anything or a Otani like that. It's just whatever. See, in a few years, then we'll know what the real market is. Right now, it's just up in the air, and that's the scary part.
And that's where patience comes in,
Yeah, you
because
just gotta know.
you can roll a dice now, and you might come up real big. You might get a car for $4,000 that later could be worth 400,000.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
that could happen.
yeah.
Or you might get a car for 4,000 that later is worth $200.
Yeah, injuries happen, situations happen, performance happens,
Yep.
rules, teams, everything. There's a lot of stuff that plays into it. So when these people, where the influencers say, "Hey, buy Zion, Zion, Zion," and pump and pump. I mean, sometimes it's. Remember how we talked about real quick last week how the influencers dictate the market. That's what they're doing too, and the same thing, because there's a reason why they're pumping this card for a reason. So it's crazy. The market is this.
But
It's
let me just ask this question, because I always like to play devil's advocate, right? So let's say you have influencer Y, whoever that person is, right?
uh-huh.
And they're saying buy JD's cards,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't listen to that. Then what happens?
Well, it could either, but it depends what JD does though. That's the thing. Like maybe they see maybe it's as an investment, and then maybe JD could do something crazy, or he doesn't, and then the people that miss on it, that don't buy it, are missing out. How about you're right though. You're 100% right. It's scary just because they could pump, 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 and then if they don't want to buy, if the people don't believe in the person, then it's not going to move.
Yeah.
There has to be facts. That's what. So if somebody told like you, if you said FD buy buy JD's card just because of what he's doing right now. He's dropping 80 points a game. Doing this and that, doing this for community. At least if you have a valid point of why people should buy it, then I'm all for it. But you can't tell me like, oh well, he's up and coming.
But see what you just said, right? He's dropping 80 points tonight. That means he's building a body of work,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than a scout said this, he's hyped as this. It's purely speculation.
Yeah. That's
And I know people want to get in before the body of work is evident to everyone, and then the card is unattainable. I get that.
oof.
I understand that.
But how many risks can you take with that though? Do you know what
I
I
don't know.
mean?
I don't know.
A lot of these people buy I can't think of a player. Darius Garland, for example. People are low on him at the beginning of the year, and then people are buying him. So it's one of those things where you hit a home run. Are you gonna hit a home run, or you're just or you're just hitting for getting on base and then luckily scoring? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then
Because
let's say you lose on that investment. Then do you become bitter? Are you
yeah,
like, man, this is not the
but
hobby is not what I thought it was gonna be?
there's this but that separates the people, the hustlers from the collectors. You know what I'm saying? People need to realize there's a difference. There's people that are collecting to collect, and then there's actual hustlers out there,
Mhm.
flippers that know what they're doing, because they'll tell you right now, okay, if the cards drop, get rid of it right away, invest it into something else better. And then the collectors be like, well, just hold it long term because that's what you like. So there's always different ways of looking at the hobby. Is just which way you want to go.
Very true. Very true. So that's around with the playoffs starting. What non-big name player do you think will have breakout games? I'm looking at guys on the Raptors.
Oh, Garrett, Raptor. I don't even know what the seed they're in. The
Oh,
Raptors.
I mean, I don't know either. But Sylvester Brown, I'll just say,
I don't know.
What Raptors player has been a breakout player
Um,
almost in the history of the Raptors?
I guess Freddie, and Siakam, but the
But
player.
look at Siakam's card value. So am I
Yeah,
wrong?
he doesn't have a
His,
market
yeah, his stuff went up when they won a championship, and then his stuff settled out.
because he don't have that off the court demeanor that we look at the hobby
No,
looks.
but you know how basketball is played, right? When Kawhi was there, he opened up things for people. That when he leaves, that door kind of closes down. And the offense of like how the Toronto Raptors play.
Yeah,
So
you could
like
tell.
you see, what's the guy, man? I'm always slipping on names for some of these guys. What's the guy who now is with Miami?
Oh, Kyle, Mr. Lowry,
Mr.
he's not
Lowry.
good.
He's not seasoning meat, man.
He ain't nothing. He ain't special to me.
But with Toronto, he looked nice.
That's the system. But that year they won though was that give me a little asterisk on that, please. Like everything that had to happen for them happened. The week
But
because
but but I'm just saying what happened in the market.
oh
People
yeah, no.
responded to that. People were like, now Siakam, I started paying attention to him a little more, but I said I gotta step back and see what this dude does.
Yeah. I mean he won most improved player of the year, but when I look at the player, I don't look like yeah, he's hooping, but when you watched like it depends how they're scoring. Are they scoring because they're setting pin downs from? Is he getting screens? Is he creating for himself? Is he going off fast breaks? So there's a lot of things that I look at that determine if the player is actually good. Because anybody could look good in a system where the coach caters to you. You know, like
Yeah.
like the Spurs. I don't know. I'm just throwing his system out. The Spurs, like Tony Park and all of them, they're just running screens, and all that stuff. But Siakam though is this he has value there. Is this you're not gonna find another buyer that's gonna want to buy at the price you think it's gonna be at.
I'm just about to do a little research on Siakam's 2016 Panini Prism
Yeah, and
Silver.
his 2016 Prism does not look nice to me at all. Like the design.
No, the design is not. It's not that great.
The Prism they stepped up really from where they're at now.
Let me see what has this done over time. Do, 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 do. Let's see here. Let me look at a 10, PSA 10. Like this is just not hard. Yeah, this is not.
You're not gonna. I don't. It's gonna be hard to find something.
It's gonna be very hard. His car is almost flatline. It's not a slight decline, but really flatlined over the
Mhm.
last. I'm back to the beginning of the year. I can't really see beyond that.
Yeah, you're not gonna be it because it's no one buys it. I had a Jeremy Grant for his rookie year. Man, that thing did not go anywhere. Like it was just I barely made. I bought it for like 30, and then it went up to like 60. Like it didn't go any. I held it for like a year and it didn't do anything.
Tom says, when I was in middle school, I traded a binder full of Marvel cards for an Incredible Hulk 181. Woohoo! What was the condition of that Hulk 181? Because had a sub to Wizard and knew it was valuable. Sold it a week later to comic book shop for $50 because it was musty.
Was-
Interesting. So 181, we know that's the first appearance. 180, Wolverine is in a panel at the end, and
Yeah,
181 is the first appearance of Wolverine on the cover. So these are the things that we talk about. If you know the book and what's going on in the storyline, it's
I think
significant.
that's pretty cool though. That's why I like comics because, like you said earlier, it's the first time a Wolverine or Spider Man come out, so it's pretty cool. Hey, it gives more value to it.
Well, you heard the first appearance of Captain, or the first Captain America. This is before Captain America. This is the first appearance of Captain America. I think sold for 3.1 million end of last week. But this is an old book. I mean, this book goes way back, but it's rare. I mean, almost in any grade, that book is rare.
That's
But
crazy.
for a lot because it's not. The beginning of a major character. Uh, I just watched a documentary the other day too on Marvel that led up to Captain being in Marvel becoming an Avenger, all that, and having his own comic book. But these are the things that are just significant. And during that time, we know no one was. Or let me say, only a few people were preserving their books like that.
Yeah,
You know, only a few people. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Uh, let's gonna jump in. Rookie says comics not my thing, but magazines are more increasingly interested in comics. Were for people that couldn't read when I was younger. I do know magazines are, you get a nice player on the cover, get that player to even autograph it. It's a nice find.
maggot. There, I don't know if you saw this post I had earlier. I'm gonna start with the Lamelo. It was a one of one signed with Slam. I
Hmm.
thought it was
Oh, I
attainable.
did see that post.
That
Yeah.
thing was 16 grand. I was like, man, I think I'm gonna that's a play. And then what do you know? It came. I don't know what it ended, but I'm sure it ended at if it started at 16, it's probably at like 30, probably or 20.
Well, what will you say? One of one, and it's Lamelo. People are gonna jump all over that.
Yeah, but I think for a magazine, I didn't think no one's gonna jump on that.
I, I, I mean, right now as we see, JD, everything is prospecting now.
Yeah, that's true.
Where the thought is, where could that thing be later? And I asked someone this question this past weekend. In today's market, right, Jordan's rookie card is not numbered, right? So let's say now you have a numbered card of a major player 20 years from now. That's like 25,000 points in their career, 30,000 points in their career. It's an RPA, or it's a Prism, short print run, numbered on the card. It's a PSA 10, it's a PSA 9. What's the value of these cards, man, 30 years from now?
You're gonna be higher than MJ's. I will
It's gonna
think.
be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy.
And the reason why I say that is because the things you just name. It's
Hmm.
numbered, jersey, sign, if it's on card. Like there's so many things that come into play with that. So can you imagine? That's what I'm saying. In 20, that's why with the with the rookie classes that are coming out this in the next few years, they have so much potential because where how the Panini and Tops and all of them what they're gonna do because they see the value in it already too. You know, like okay, we want you to sign here, and then we ready to take a piece of your tuxedo or your suit from draft night. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
20 years from now, I
that'd be
love it.
nice, right? And especially that player blows up and legendary. It'd be nice. Reverend comes back. What I have began to gravitate to content creators that are informational compared to pumping a specific player.
Yeah, me too. I
I
remember.
like. I'm just not like. people have seen me purchase Steph Curry cards, right?
Hmm.
But I buy other stuff. It's not just like I'm just sitting around. What's up with Steph Curry this week? It's not like that, right? But I very rarely come on a show and start telling people they need to buy Steph Curry.
But real quick, remember when we first talked? I said, "Can you imagine if the conversation of the content was different? Like, if
Mm-hmm.
how about we started our content started?
Yep.
Maybe pumping and flipping would not be what it is right now.
Yeah, I remember this
Or
conversation.
remember? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Is this the conversation? Is this the information that came out at the beginning of the hobby when blew up? That's why all these things are happening. If it was the other way around, oh man, a lot of people, it would be more formative for everyone, not just for certain
Hey,
people.
everybody that's watching and JD and I, like, raise your hand if you think that, like, what this statement says here. If content is going to be gravitating to people who are information.
Yeah. It, I'm man, I don't like to say I don't like, I'm very humble when it comes to my content, but I feel like my content's really good. Like compared to what everybody else is just because it's the story behind everything. And that's why I get frustrated because like people it's cool to see people buy like a this Kyrie Irving X amount of money for whatever it was. But it's cooler to hear about the story of how it happened or why you got into it.
Mhm.
For me. So that's why I just
Me
think
too.
I
Yeah.
think that's why the conversation changes. If it would have been the other way around, the hobby would probably be in a way better place. Honestly, I think so.
So just like the market, some other things may be leveling out.
Yeah, I think it would be more. I think it would level out a lot more because it wouldn't be so biased, right? The information would be a lot different. It wouldn't be more about the card, be more about the person and the understanding behind it, the reasoning behind it, and all that stuff. But I mean, we got into it pretty late. Our what we're trying to preach out to the world is it got there later than what it should have.
Oh yeah, yeah, it may have gotten there later, but in the grand scheme of things of the timeline of life,
It's gonna be good.
it could be right on time.
That's why I'm just keep pumping what we're doing, and then it
Mhm.
eventually people are gonna gravitate towards us more because it's more informative and real.
Yeah, and there are some other people out here. I've said this before. There are some content creators that are really focused on bringing real information to people,
Yeah.
and I enjoy them.
Hmm.
The Reverend says I grew up on comic books and not Marvel cards. I have the Venom Spider-Man book series, debating having them graded. It all depends if you want to read them again, but there are other ways for you to read them again, Reverend. I know you already know that. Um, that IH 181, Incredible Hulk, probably would have graded a 3, maybe a bit better, but really kicked myself for selling that. But at time, that binder of Marvel cards definitely more than 50 to or 300. Now a lot of metal and flare stuff. Hero 3. My Angels already getting punked to start the season. They have too many good players to be losing like this.
Don't worry about the beginning of the season. Baseball's a
You got
marathon.
162, man. You got
Yeah,
162, Hero.
it's a marathon.
You got
I don't even
162.
know if the Yankees won tonight, but I don't care about the first two
All good,
beginning.
man. But Hero, teams now sign players. Look at the Atlanta Braves last year. The roster that started the season is not the
It's not the
roster
same roster.
that
Yeah.
went to the playoffs and won the World Series.
Yep. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
baseball now, man. You just get through this 162. You'll
Yeah,
be all right.
there's a team that'll be hot at the beginning of the year, and they're not even close to making the playoffs. Baseball's a marathon, literally, just like the
A
market.
literal marathon. Sylvester says, like you say, comics you have to really know what you're talking about. My nephew is a comic collector. When we go to the movies, he gets upset when the storylines change from the comic. The comic book reader is like the people who read the Harry Potter novels.
Yeah,
I have people in my family that we go to movies. They're like, "Oh, we watch a movie at home. This is not how this was written. Who changed
yeah,
that? What's up with this storyline?"
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
comic. That's what I'm saying. The people who are reading comic books and really getting into the storyline, the character creation, all of that, they're not looking for a Marvel card. At least that's not what I'm seeing. And I'm out asking questions, right? Before I start saying something, like I'm putting shoes, boots, sandals, everything on the ground. I'm walking around and I'm talking to people and I'm
Uh,
asking them straight up, why did no Marvel cards in this store? Have you ever thought about carrying Marvel cards? Nope.
what
We
they
don't
say.
have that demand come through the door.
Yeah, that's the thing is the demand.
And
Like you
Marvel
could,
cars are not new, right? So they've been around for a while. They're not. This is not new.
yeah.
My guy was Conseco. I'm with you, Tom. There as a kid, so ruined baseball for a long time for me after Homer of head throwing out arm pitching and roys and antics. Reverend Mac Jones Dahmer's all over again,
Oh yeah.
but slowly starting to get back into baseball. But also, no, Tom, they're not testing for steroids anymore.
No.
Just know that those WWF Prism look really nice. They
Yeah,
do look nice.
I bought a few. So I'm if you guys see me at some shows, I'm gonna have them.
And I like the way Rookie stays with that WWF. I'm feel,
Yeah,
you know,
that's how. Yeah,
keeping it the way it was. No, no hobbies on the accessions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate you.
thank you.
Uh, Tom was talking about some cars here that went from 55K to
I
22K.
think it was the Wolverine you were talking about.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that Wolverine comic is has. I mean, you look at the dollar amounts on higher grades. A 3 is still very good grade in that book, but if you get up to 5, 6, 7s, you get 8s, 8.5s, and then you get into some 9s. It's something else. But we should all know too. Let's talk about this, right? During when sports cars went up, Pokemon cards went up in 2020. Comic books went up in value.
It all it
Right?
all it all moves in one.
It all moved. So there are some comic books that went up and came down. The difference between where it was before it went up and where it came down to is what you want to maximize. You look at any graph of a stock or anything that goes up. I like graphs, right?
Yeah,
What did it come down to? Did it come down to a lower value than where it started at, or did it come down to a value that's greater? And that's what a win is.
yeah,
At least that's what I think. Market is oversaturated or inflated.
both.
Yeah, too much positively only. I'm sticking with 80s through 2000s. I'm a .99 auction or bargain bin 99-cent guy myself. When I do buy these days, plus I don't rip packs unless it's to meeting draft meeting with my son. I think that's meeting. Uh, my next show, I will probably be cashing out my baseball, Soto, Acuna, etc. PSA 10s. I still have lots ungraded. It's
Dang.
interesting. It's interesting what people are saying here. I am seeing people trading down because of the liquidity of smaller cars.
Yep,
Okay.
that's where it's at.
Okay. Always from Tom, always looking for what next for the people dealing in the newest stuff. Tom also says F1, WWE, Marvel, PMGs, kabooms. A lot seems influencer driven when sit and reflect on it. Money in it, but it is it growth?
Yeah, F1's scary.
Dexo says he saw you, man. The
Oh
mojo's up.
yeah, I was around them when they were filming last week.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's interesting, right? It's interesting some of the changes or the things that's going on in the hobby. Influencers don't always use facts, especially when you talk about baseball card
Wait,
prospects.
real quick. Do people really care about F1 if they didn't have cards? I
That's
mean,
the
let's just
question.
be real. I'm not. There's
Question.
nothing against F1 cards or anything like that, but will people care about it as much? Because you know what I mean. Like, would it be
Did
that
you
big?
see, did you see Santiago Sports post the other day on Instagram?
No. What did he say?
That he's not effing around with F1 cards.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like all of a sudden, because they have cards, everybody wants to. Because it's who could jump on it the best, like the up
But
and
this is the thing. Like this, a little bit of research, right? F1 has been around for 70 years.
No, I know, but
So why are these cars so popular right now?
that's what I'm saying. Is it because of the hobby,
I
and
don't
they
know.
just drop cards, and why not? I just think it's crazy. I'm like,
But there's
geez,
been F1 cars out for quite a while.
it's just crazy to me that people jumped on F1 like it was the biggest thing in the world.
But is it that wave I saw when I looked to my left at the Angels game?
I think so, but there's and then I saw that there's a comment somebody said there's the WWE that stuff is gonna go down, but at least WWE has history. I think it's more relatable for me. For me, I think like if I saw The Rock, I saw The Rock's card. That brings me back to when he had his time, his glory days in the WWF and all that. Stone Cold, The Undertaker. It's just it depends if well how much it means to you.
Tom said, "I'm glad I can afford to be in the high end market. LOL. Getting burned for $100 sucks, but it's not 60K.
Jeez.
It's something It's just interesting, right? I walked into Saturday's show. I'm walking around. And I'm just like listening to conversations and trying to pay attention to some things because it felt different. It just felt different to me. And I'll pay attention to a lot of stuff. I deal in rookie stuff because people ultimately buy rookie cards. I moved an extra Luca Prism base PSA 10 to get a number two out of 299 and a 65 Premier. Okay, Kaprizov. Moving out of a card to move up.
Yeah, you got to be good to do that. There's a
Well,
people
the
that
Reverend is coming with some next level game right here. This is next level strategy.
yeah moving. But see, but I want to ask is that yeah you moved up to these higher end cards, but are you going to be able to sell it and get what you think it is? Because most of the time, all these higher end cards, you don't. Okay, if FD's rookie, the higher end card went for like 100K, the chances of them getting 100K in cash is very low, right? You think that's possible? You think that's who's gonna pay 100K? They're gonna either give you cards to trade value it,
You probably got to go to a mature auction house for that.
but you think 100K? But I'm talking about the straight. You don't need to go to an auction because there's just
No,
fees.
that's
That's crazy.
that's
100K. That's what I'm saying. So when people trade up, are you trading up just because you want to have that high end card to sell, or you just want to hold it just to have it? It's crazy. I had a card where I had it was valued at like two something, 2K, but nobody was gonna buy it at 2K at the time, just because who's gonna drop 2K on the card?
so. Let's talk about this then, right? Because this is a good conversation piece. When we talk about cars, we're talking about timelines.
Yeah,
This is a conversation I got into with some people. Timeline. So my timeline, JD, could be different than yours.
that's
Your
true.
timeline may be different than mine. Somebody may want to have a car for a couple of weeks. Another person may say, I'm trying to move this in the next couple of months. I talked to someone the other day, and they asked me, when you buy cars, like, how are you flipping them? And I said, well, I don't flip cars. And they gave me a blank look. And then they said, hold on, aren't you moving stuff quickly? It's like, nope, don't do that. Then they gave me another blank look. Then they asked the question, so what's your strategy? Then when I explained to them what my strategy was, they were floored.
Hmm.
So I had a conversation with that person on timelines.
Damn.
And that's really what we're talking about here. When we talk about, we give all these labels like he's a flipper, she's a prospector, she's a collector, he's a right. We're all talking about timelines.
Yeah, I. That's a good one. Yeah, because people tell me the same thing too. Like you don't flip anything. I mean, I used to, but you gotta be sustainable. How far could flipping get you in life? I think I
Well,
think
I think the flipping is about the market, right? So the
yeah,
market that we just had, oh, you could just go all day.
yeah.
Listen, you don't have any kind of, you're not, your timeline is long, right? Because you can do this for a long time. But if the market changes, let's say if you're running a business, right? And let's say your profit margins are good, and you have you have a growing demand for your product, right?
Yeah.
You are not looking out here just scratching and looking for efficiencies in your business. You may be looking for some,
Mhm.
but you're going to ignore the rest of that. We're about making this money right now. We're moving, right? But then when the market changes, if you're a business that wants to succeed, oh, you can be looking for efficiencies.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're gonna find a better way to do everything. Is the checkout lane the way it should be? Should it be 5 inches wider? Should it be 2 feet longer? What products are we putting up by the checkout lane? Are we I mean, if you ask yourself a whole bunch of questions that I think you didn't have to ask when it came to cars in 2020. You didn't have to ask those questions. It doesn't really. things were happening. But now it may be a little bit different. Rookie Card Finder said Nets are gonna win it all.
I don't know, man. I mean, you guys know I love my Kyrie and all of them, but if they get the Bucks first round, oh man, if they beat the Bucks, maybe, but we'll see. That's a tough first round,
I don't
FT.
think they're beating the Bucks. Man.
That's what I'm saying. Unless Ben Simmons comes back, they need something.
They said Ben Simmons is coming back. I mean, this is again, right? We just talked about efficiencies. That they know that if they're going to go to the playoffs, Ben Simmons better be playing.
They have well. This is what they said. They said Ben Simmons is not going to play in the play-in, but he might play in the first round. But at
Did
that
you
point,
did they trade Harden to get a guy to sit on the bench?
no.
No. So he should be in a uniform, dribbling the ball, and seeing how high he can jump.
But I think what they want him to do is just play D, like just let. But if let's say they win that series and he just slowly gets into the rhythm, that's a dangerous team. Because all he don't need to shoot. All you gotta do is take the ball up, play defense, and that's it. Move the ball around. Like I don't know.
But
We'll see.
does he have a back issue?
That's what. But that's I don't know. But we're getting too many different messages with his back. Like they're saying, did you see the video of him like running around shooting and
No,
dunking?
I didn't see it. What did he look like?
Yeah,
Did he look fluid?
he looked okay.
Did he look robotic?
No, he looked decent. I just think he was. I think he was just holding out, and he's barely getting back in the game.
I'm
So
pretty sure there was a camera in the room. He wasn't showing what he really could do.
yeah, I know.
We're
No
almost
holding.
savvy in that, right? I
Yeah,
may have a little limp when the camera goes away. Man, I'm tomahawk dunking, right?
yeah.
So Sylvester says rookie Scotty Barnes on the Raptors. So going back to who's on the Raptors, Scotty Barnes is cool, right? I still say he's cool on the Raptors. So I just want to see what is he going to do if he left the Raptors or went someplace else. So the Raptors became a real viable team. What would happen then?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Superbad says, "Are you still at Burning?
Nah, I'm back. I'm back in the city. I'm back in Pasadena.
Back in Adena?
Yes, sir.
Charisma is key in basketball more than any other sport.
Yes, it's 100% true.
I will say so, but you still have to have a personality that is relatable to fans, right? Like Machado. Let's look at Machado. His card values would be, I think, greater if he had a different kind of personality.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yep, 100%.
So you
Easily.
still got to have something. Now, I don't disagree that basketball charisma, it takes you a long way, and it is key because again, you only have 5 guys on the court. But there's something to be said for relatability. I always say this, and just that light factor, and that light factor can be very gray.
Yep.
I have 2 optics, hollow BGS 9.5 or Pascal
Yeah, you're
that
not
I
gonna.
cannot move. And Reverend Rips, I hate to say this, you're not moving those.
Yeah, take it to Toronto or something. It's hard to. You think you have these like cool cards. The worst part is like you think you have these cool cards, and people are like, oh yeah. They just they window shopping when they come to your table. Oh yeah, that's a cool card, and they're not even gonna consider buying it. Like
It'd be a cool video to see if someone took Raptor cards to the Toronto show.
I heard they move. I heard they move up there.
Really? Wow.
I heard they move, like Vince Carter, DeRozan.
No, I'm talking about current players.
I don't know, but I
No,
heard they. I heard.
I'm talking about is Pascal moving?
I don't know. I don't think so. He doesn't get me excited like that. So no, I
When
don't.
was you really been in a show and seen his cards? So I know we're in LA.
I never seen a
I
Pascal
never really
card.
seen. Never really seen.
I'll probably buy one and then let's see what happens.
We should do a test. We should both buy one
Let's see what happens.
and see what we can get done with that.
That'd be cool. Because people are gonna be looking at you like, what?
Hey, dude, I got this Pascal, bro, and you gotta be serious with it.
Yeah,
This thing.
like it's like an auto or something.
Yeah, Dexpo Toys. AFD JD, when Jokic wins MVP this year, he will get the respect as best big man this generation. Literally a 7-foot point guard. I feel like, am I wrong? But when Jokic wins, is he gonna be just like point guard from Canada? Lakers won back to back with Dallas. What's his name?
Who?
The point guard back in the day won back to back. I think MVPs. Played with Dallas.
Oh, Nash.
Nash. Is he gonna be the same as Nash? Is
Mm,
Jokic really going to be considered the best big man this generation? If he is, I'm proud of him because I
big
feel
man's
like
fine though.
foreign players don't get talked about like that.
There's only one foreign player that gets talked about. His name is Dirk Nowitzki, right? But I don't know.
Now, I've
Jokic,
always wanted that. I've always wanted a foreign born player that's playing in the NBA to really like get that generational kind of, yeah,
yeah,
you
we
got to
have
check
it.
in.
Luca's gonna be that. You don't think
I hope
so?
so. That's the person I thought first would do it. But Jokic, man, was do you know when they had the NBA draft? Let's do a little knowledge out here, right? Jokic's draft position and announcement came on a ticker. I think doing a Taco Bell commercial, bro. He was on a ticker on ESPN doing a Taco Bell commercial. That's how low in the draft this man was. Now we're talking about we're talking about, yeah, he won last year. So we're talking about back-to-back MVPs and the best big man this generation. Like that should be talked about.
But I don't think he has the charisma
Yeah,
or
I
the
don't know if he
game.
has personality.
He don't he when I watch Jokic, it's not like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't go look for a Denver game. Like, I don't big man
Is that
unfortunately the
because you know Denver is going to go to the playoffs and then like be watching the finals like the rest of us? Is
yeah,
that
no,
why you?
I just don't think Denver. I mean that too, but I don't think Denver is a team where I'm gonna go waste my Friday night or Wednesday night to watch them play. Like that game, he doesn't excite me. That it goes back to what I look at a player, and he doesn't check the box for me personally. I'm just saying, big men don't get love, but there's a reason for it because they're not relatable. Like, what are the chances of a seven of
Oh, so
of
you saying when the next time we gonna see another shot? Is what you're saying?
Shaq is relatable.
That's
But
what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying, like, look at the NBA players right now. They don't have most of the players that have shoes like PE's shoes are guards or wing players. You
True.
don't see a big man because they're not marketable because they're not relatable to the extent like if I was playing basketball, I don't want to be a Jokic. I want to be like a Kobe, Kyrie, Dame, Steph, like that. That way, it's more relatable. And plus, they don't move Jokic like that, like how they move Steph Curry and John Moran and Lillard and all of them. But when you see the commercials, you don't see the big men anymore like that. Last
Yeah.
time you seen a big man was Dirk, Shaq, KG, like all those back in the day. But now they're just not. I don't see them as relatable as before.
It's interesting. Tom, I'm out as far as chat goes. Got work. Thank you for being here early and on East Coast, but I'll be listening. Have a great night, everyone. Much love. Stay safe. Enjoy cardboard. Thank you, Tom.
Oh, did
Appreciate
you real quick? Did you they just Woj just dropped a bomb that Frank is out. The coach Vogel's out. He's
you. We
out.
already knew that. Like,
Yeah.
who dropped that bomb?
Woj Adrian
Oh man, we
Wojnarowski.
already knew that. Yeah.
They did. ESPN does
Well,
know that.
Vogel said this. I think I got it. Hold on. Vogel made a statement the other day. I already knew like this guy's gone. Let me see if I can find that. Oh yeah. Vogel said Laker coach Vogel opens up on losing season, quote unquote, imperfect roster, and what comes next after elimination. I already knew he was gone when I read that.
Yeah, I told you the LeBron effect. I told you it's happening, but
But what? Yeah,
that's
you know
not his fault, man.
what? You win with LeBron, you get fired with LeBron.
But I mean, he won a chip. Like, what more do you guys want from him? Like, it's not like
But
LeBron
he
and AD.
wasn't. You think he was the coach then?
I mean, I think
He
Jason
can't
Kidd
be the
played a
coach.
role.
He
I
can't be.
think Jason Kidd played a role of them playing. Look, Jason Kidd's gone, and all of a sudden they playing horrible. I mean, look what they try to sign, man. You
You
try to
think
sign.
Jason Kidd was the glue?
I mean, kind of. I mean, look, Jason Kidd's not that bad of a coach, but did you see? Okay, let's go back to it. Did you see who he had on this training, his coaching staff? He had some head coaches on his on his staffing. So I mean,
Yeah, they probably all handpicked by LeBron.
but come on, man, that's not even his fault. Why they're dying like
You want to talk
that?
about the Lakers? Let's talk about the Lakers, man. But JD, you knew beginning of the season this wasn't gonna work, man. When they said, you know what was the comedy to me? Let's talk for real. Well, this was the comedy. When they said Avery Bradley was a defensive stopper.
No, yeah, he's not maybe maybe 10 years ago, not anymore. He's not a defensive
Man, I
stopper.
was like, what are we talking about? This dude's a defensive stopper.
They just trying to scapegoat anything to make LeBron not look like the
It
best.
almost seemed like they was looking at every person on the roster and trying to give him a role, trying to give him a name.
A nickname, yeah.
He's a defensive stopper, man. Yeah,
You're gonna be our Dennis Rodman. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why Dwight Howard played less this year than he did in the bubble. And
It's
why did you
cold.
bring when they brought in DeAndre Jordan? It's like he doesn't fit this offense.
No, when they brought in Stanley Johnson, they brought in all these people. They had so there
Well,
was
when
a
they brought
line.
in Stanley Johnson, what they just like trying to resuscitate the team? What they just
Yeah,
trying to get some energy out of somewhere? They were probably looking around, be like the dude over in section 2B, seat 12. Let's bring him in. He might give us some energy.
this Lakers season was
But
a
you know, LeBron, I mean, from every account, I think even from the Lakers, like he handpicked Westbrook.
yeah. Look at that. Why would you
There was
pick
there was
West?
talk of DeRozan coming in.
DeRozan would have been a better fit than Westbrook. At least
No,
DeRozan would
no,
get.
DeRozan's not a good fit with LeBron.
Why? He could get his own shot.
Yeah, that's the problem. Who has LeBron played with besides Dwayne Wade?
Kyrie.
And you
That
see how that went? Did you see how that went? You see
they
what
got
you
a
see
chip.
there?
They got a chip
Yeah,
though.
but you see how that went though, right?
Well, I mean, LeBron won't
LeBron's
like.
not trying to play with anybody that creates their own shot.
Okay, at that age of his career, I would. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, go get us a game.
Yeah, you would, but the only person he was going to defer to was AD, and then AD is like, you know. Did you
AD.
see the quote from AD? I think I saved this.
We said, we got more starting lineups than wins.
No, he said
Oh,
that, but then he also said, here's another quote that I have. When I'm healthy,
oh yeah, talk
I'm
to
an MFer, but I got to stay healthy.
man. He did more talking than playing. That's
Did
why
you
I
hear
was.
that? Did you hear
Yeah,
that quote?
he's like
When,
80.
when I'm healthy,
That's 50% true.
I'm a mofo when I'm healthy, but
Yeah,
I
but
just got to stay healthy.
anybody could talk when they sit. He
But
needs.
didn't the rapper Sugar Free say, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready?
And remember, I always say this: the best skill is availability. And look, he don't got. Come on, AD, you need to stop, dude.
AD knows he's like, man, I can't believe I signed this huge contract, and they know I never played 82 games a season.
That's what I'm saying. Why give up all that? And then look at Lonzo, Julius, Clarkson, Ingram. They're all playing. They're playing all year, and AD is not even playing nothing.
But I think younger players in the NBA, they're not listening to LeBron. So Ingram, I don't think he can stay around because LeBron is probably in practice talking about y'all not rebounding, and
Hmm.
Ingram is like,
You ain't playing defense. What you want me to do?
come on, man.
But I
Uh,
think that's
Ricky
just the
Carfine
respect.
says,
Like,
what's respect?
I think that's just the respect of like. There's a difference between what playing with Kobe and LeBron at that point. Like, I don't know if you heard it, but the Jordan Clarkson said like, yeah, they're both different leaders. Kobe wants you to be great. LeBron's is like the first. You know what I mean? I forgot what quote.
But JD, you and I know that. I know that sitting right
I
here
know,
where
but
I'm at right
I'm
now.
I'm just saying people don't know that. Like, there's a difference between the two.
But that's why LeBron wants that outside shooter, man. That's why he wants Ray Allen and everybody. That's why he said, "Oh, let's talk about this." Can we talk about this? Did you see when on LeBron's show they asked him who would you like to play with?
Oh yeah, Stephen Curry. Yeah, crazy.
What JD? What is that? You're going to name the best 3-point shooter of all time. Now this started like 4 or 5 years ago, and then he tried to every year he wants Steph on his All Star team. Steph doesn't want to play with him. Did you hear Steph say, "Yeah, I'm
Nah,
good.
I'm good.
I'm
Yeah,
good."
I'm good. Cause he knows, man. You know that it depends what system. LeBron got to come to Golden State. That's how it's only. That's the way it's gonna work. Because LeBron can't play. LeBron can't. People are like, oh, you put LeBron with Golden State when they were winning instead of KD, they'll probably win everything. No, because that offense was based. That offense was based on
KD is
bubble.
an outside shooter
They all
that
complimented each other.
but KD is the shooter that will take the shot himself.
Yeah, he's not a. I mean, you see that. You saw the finals. He just pulled up, iced the game like it was
He was
nothing.
he was taking it to LeBron.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh well, he had. Curry and all of them, but
LeBron said he wants to play with Steph Curry.
nah, that's not.
I wonder what Clay thinks about that. Clay is probably like, okay.
They're probably just laughing like, get him out of here. He had to come to the Bay to play with them. Steph Curry's not leaving. He's the only player, the last player that's gonna stay with the team his whole career.
You
Besides,
think that?
yeah. I mean, everybody else left. Who's still with their player, the team that they drafted him? I think he's the only one. Him and Clay.
Draymond, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, like big, like a big name player.
Yeah.
That's the only. Maybe look at D Wade. D Wade left. Westbrook, KD, obviously. Dwayne. Did I say Dwayne Wade? There's a lot of players that just. Oh, Tim Duncan was the last player that stayed too, and Dirk. And look at the success they had. It's just crazy.
You'll love this comment. Rookie Car Finder says Kyrie Irving is a good investment.
Yeah, he dropped 35 today, only taking 20 shots. Come on, man. FD. Anytime Kyrie does something good, I'm gonna jump on it. I just been busy today.
Okay. We're gonna see when they get to the playoffs, man.
Oh,
First we gotta get past this playing game.
they just gotta play the Cavs on. Oh, knock on wood,
Those
but
make on the Cavs, man.
I mean,
Cavs may come out, bro. They may come out on that business.
they were just there. They lost on Friday, so they really. I don't know. We'll see, but
I wonder what's gonna happen if the Nets get put out early. What do you do with that team?
well, they already said KD and Kyrie said they're just gonna stay. They're gonna wait out. They said they're gonna just. They want to go a whole year. They said the whole COVID thing and them being hurt, kind of like they didn't see how they really played. So we'll see. I mean,
Okay.
There was a quote they're saying is out of all the team members, it was when LeBron, Kawhi, and KD they all signed to the new teams. Who failed the most? And of course, LeBron. They said LeBron didn't fail because he won a chip, but at the same time, Kawhi was injured. He's barely coming back. KD was injured, and they barely beat. They almost beat the Bucks. So I just think you just gotta wait it out because I think they have one more year left in all their contracts. So we'll see. Fully healthy, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. The Reverend information. I am learning hockey, and there are so many information providers who want to grow the market. Uh, yeah, Tom, all about the real people with morals and ethics doing it because they love it. Just sub JD. Keep doing what you love, and it'll happen for you.
Yep,
Okay.
I
Yep.
agree.
Deck Flow. Yesterday podcast. Our guys who live it actually go to shows by and sell. Colorado Rockies just won the series against the Dodgers. We will see by midseason. Did anyone see the home run from Vlad Jr. today off an 83-mile-an-hour curve? Hit it like 480.
Power. That's what he got.
He's got power. Best not yesterday. No idea that came out. Okay, I got you. The Reverend Rips reset the floor. This is how you deal in an SROC.
It's true.
Joe, think WWE Prism going to go down in prices years from now?
I don't think so. It's first year. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, No, I was digging some more into Flux, who you was telling me about.
How? What you think?
I will
Desi-
see. I'm still digging.
yeah, the design's a little fishy, but
Yeah,
I mean,
the design is very interesting.
the design's fishy, but who knows? Maybe in 15, 20 years from now, everybody's gonna be wanting that flux. It depends on that rookie class.
Rookie says F1 is not popular; it's being pumped.
Yeah, it's being pumped. I think it's being pumped.
And F1 doesn't. What was Joel talking about? WWE Prism going down. It's pandemic Netflix series driven.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Last Dance, I guess. But I'm just saying, like, who watch who what? I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I kind of felt like the Last Dance just reminded those who didn't
Who's the goat?
see Michael Jeffrey Jordan play,
Yeah, who's the
who
goat?
actually who is the GOAT of the NBA.
The goat. Yeah, yeah.
I think a lot of people. I even talked to some people. It's like, yeah, man, I'm a Kobe fan, and I'm a LeBron fan, but man, I never saw Mike play. That's a
I admit I never seen Mike play. Like I admit I never seen Mike play like an actual live game. I seen highlights, but I already knew going into the highlight what it was what he's gonna do. But if I seen Mike play, it would have been a different story. But watching his highlights, whew, every time he shot the ball, nothing but swish. Legendary stuff right there. Legendary skill.
yeah. It's special to see somebody like that lace them up, man. Come on the court and just dominate situations. Even in 2020, I did not get burned by Bobo, Cody White, Sekou, or players like that.
Kobe White's gonna be solid though. The other two, I don't know. I think the other two are not even in the league anymore.
Bobo is playing G
He's in
League.
Orlando. Yeah, he's in Orlando, but he's not playing. I don't know where Seiko's at. He was with last time I checked. He was with the Lakers. That's when his prices went up, and then he went gone. He
Believe in
went missing.
KD Simmons. That's funny. Smart play with WWE right now. This is Dexo. Is buy the top stuff while it's cheap. Only natural. All these new WWE Prism guys will migrate out to WWE cards. Let's
Yeah,
see.
but people love panini more than tops. That's the problem. You could buy all the tops you want, but we know what's gonna hold value. What people are gonna want.
I'm loving these comments, man. Our people out here. I wish he did because my orange color match PSA 10 will be fire. And then
Mm.
we talk about Van Fleet. You know, I don't know when I hear Toronto Raptors. If I see a game on, I'm not really watching that.
Yeah, they're boring.
Yeah, Luca is in that discussion now. He is. I mean, we'll see how that plays out. We all know that Luca strained his calf tonight, right?
Yeah, but he don't. He's not athletic like that. Oh, he did.
Yeah, he strained his calf tonight.
Mm.
For
Uh
first half,
oh.
I think, out the second. I mean, we knew that at some point
Strain.
his physical endurance level was going to be tested, right?
It's an 82 game season. Yeah, that's why people. That's why they do time management or whatever. Whatever the what was it
Load management.
loads
Well,
management.
your boy LeBron kicked that off.
Yeah, he's the reason why that happened, and then they start catching on.
And
Cause
then LeBron said this year, you know what? I'm gonna jump ahead of the game. Oh man, I tore my abdominal muscle. I got abdominal strain.
I think what they said was they want to cut the season down. This is pretty cool. Cut the season down 61 games. No back to backs. I mean that's cool. And then this is the interesting part: playoffs.
Isn't it the game? What are we talking about right now?
No, I don't know, but no, I'm just
Go
saying.
ahead.
But
Go ahead.
and then the playoffs. I think this was the best one. The first two rounds, 3 game series, or 5 game series.
Well, the first round used to be 3 games, and it went back to 5.
No, I think it should go 3, 5, 7.
I remember when the Bulls used to smash Mookie Blaylock, and then with Atlanta,
That'd be
it
nice.
was a 3 game series.
It moved the first round a lot faster. The first round's not as good anymore. You imagine 3 games, move to the second round, five.
Is the first round not good because your 7 and 8 seeds are just not that good?
Yeah, they're not. It's just not that good. That's why I do 3 game set, 5 game set, and then the conference finals and the final 7 game series. That'd be good. They should do that, but the NBA wants more money.
I love what you collect. Thank you for being here. We're rolling. Joe, is it because it's not a big market like Lakers or New York? Look how the Knicks made Porzingis look.
That's true. Porzingis
Derek,
was hooping
Derek
him.
Fisher it should be the coach of LA.
Nah, I don't want Fish to be a coach. They need to get a strong personality, like
Man,
somebody.
you don't believe in Fish, man?
Nah, he gonna get bullied by LeBron.
No, he'll just be the average coach that LeBron's been. Think about the coaches LeBron has had. Who's strong? Who's going to be like LeBron is a coach, man?
I think Eric Spoelstra was the only one that kind of like did his thing. Because I mean, that you don't think so?
No. You think Eric Spoelstra was like, "Hey, LeBron, I'm running this shit." You
Well,
think
you
he
see
was?
what he did with Jimmy Butler the other day.
Yeah, Butler, but he had his power forward backing him up. So
Oh yeah, OG,
yeah,
OG, OG.
who
UD.
clearly stated to Butler what the situation really is. You know, nobody's worried about Jimmy Butler likes to, I played with some guys like Jimmy Butler before, right? Jimmy Butler likes to try to punk you, see what you're made of, and then whatever you show him out of that, he's gonna disrespect that.
Yeah, he's
Think about
he's
that. Think
testing
about that
the
mindset. I'm
water.
gonna challenge you, JD, and then when you show me you're gonna stand up for yourself, then I'm gonna challenge that as well.
Yeah,
But that doesn't work with everybody. Doesn't work. And Butler wants to control situations. You can't control every situation, man. And let me ask you this in grand scheme of things, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but who exactly is Jimmy Butler? Let's just be for real. Let's talk for real. Who is Jimmy Butler, man?
nah, Jimmy
He
Butler's
went
not.
to the finals in the bubble, right? Okay.
Who does it? Who can he? Who does it remind me of?
No one.
No, no, but
Doesn't,
I mean, this is the.
doesn't-
He's a uh, buffer steroid Patrick Beverly. Does that make sense? Like he just tries to bully people, or he thinks he's a bully. I don't know. I don't think Jimmy Butler's elite. I mean, I think he's okay. I don't think he's gonna get him over the hump. I don't think. I don't. I think the Heat are just gonna be average in the playoffs, but I don't think Jimmy Butler is worth all that money.
Now, this is a good quote, a good statement, or a good comment, or something to think about. Could Mark Jackson coach LeBron? Because I
Mm,
think Mark Jackson is like a no BS kind of.
yeah, but look what happened when. But he is a no BS player. But then look what happened when he left Golden State. You know, it's just
But you don't. Do you think Steve Kerr put that together or Mark Jackson?
no, Mark. I mean, Mark
Oh,
Jackson's the architect. No, no, no. I give him his credit. I'm just saying, like, there's a difference between being a no, takes no shit from somebody and somebody that actually opens up the game. Look what
okay.
happened after that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's cool to be disciplined as a parent, but there was always going to be like the father or the mother. Like, you know what? Yeah, I understand the other parents like this hard and all that, but you're gonna live your full potential with
Let
us.
me let me just tell you this. I think this season we're going to see who Steve Kerr really is as a coach.
I, I think he's not that bad of a coach, but
You
but
know, he's
maybe
still the man that signed Shaq to play with Phoenix, right?
no, I know that, and look how that
Now
worked out.
let's go back before legendary players took the court and he coached them. I'm talking about getting down to some real coaching, where you have situations where Steph is hurt, right? He's coming back from an ankle. You got Clay still not 100%, right? And you got these young guys. You got Poole. You got some of these other guys running around. Lee, do you call? How you gonna coach them?
Yeah, that's true. No, I agree what you're saying. I just think his system's good. Like just the way his offense and his game flows. But I don't know if his coaching. I mean, there's always been those videos of him talking to KD or Steph, like, hey, it was like, you're not shooting the ball well or whatever, but it's okay. I don't know. I don't. I think he's a good X and O's coach. You know.
I think he's been fortunate to play with some.
Do you think?
He's been put in a good position.
Do you think he's like Phil? Like he has that Phil Jackson type. Listen, you look giving me that look like the situation he's in.
I
Like
can't.
look at
Even, hey JD, I can't even say Kerr and Jackson in the same.
no, but I'm saying, but look what he had. He had Steph and then KD. I'm just saying, but look at the players that he had. Like I'm not.
I'm shutting down, man. I can't.
All
I'm
right.
listening. I'm listening. Go ahead. I want to challenge myself. I'm listening.
No, I'm just saying, but look at Phil. He had Kobe, Shaq, and LeBron. Kobe, Shaq, and MJ, and all of
Yeah,
them.
but you know, like from watching The Last Dance, Phil Jackson was a coach, right?
Mhm.
Jordan disagreed with him. They still went the way Phil wanted to go. Scottie Pippen refused to come in the game. Phil Jackson took that whole situation over. Still got who coached the ball. There are many examples of Phil Jackson. He's the coach of the team. But when you look at these LeBron James teams, none of these people are coaching the team. When it comes down to making the tough decision, when LeBron was out with an abdominal strain earlier this season, right? He's walking the sidelines like he's the coach. Vogel's sitting down.
Yeah,
You remember this?
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he's talking to people. He's telling people that you need to do this and run. You do that. Vogel's still back here sitting down.
Yeah, he's a players coach. He's a part-time coach. He's a part.
Vogel's there to talk to the media.
Damn, that
LeBron
sucks.
James coaches the team. That's
Which
how
is
it is, man.
yeah, that's horrible.
Lakers all in all season. Whole team getting traded. Even Goofy AD. I don't know. What's up with Westbrook? Where's he going? Is he staying? Is he leaving?
I heard he's going to Charlotte, but we'll see.
Is he gonna run with LaMelo Ball?
Nah, that's not gonna work. He needs to go back to okay. I don't know. He just needs to retire, man.
I would love to see Westbrook and a LaMelo Ball running the fast break.
This is a turnover. You think their turnovers are high? Wait till next year when they really play together.
Oh boy! Did
Their
you see
turnover.
that clip of LaMelo comes down and he does this thing in the air, and then he throws it out to the outside shooter, and my man shoots an air ball?
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
I love that stuff. All right, Jokic. If you look at his stats, his first 7 years until these last two were where he broke out, where his stats don't see it often. The stats you don't see often. I don't think anyone expected him to take over like he has. I don't think so either.
Mm-mm.
Jokic just naturally took over after warming up for his first several seasons. I think you're gonna see more big men warming up. I think it's some big men that we know of right now that are warming up for something that's probably gonna be a little bit different that you see from a big man. It's gonna
Mhm.
take us some time. You got guys not going to 1 year of college and then coming out. It's gonna take some time.
Yep, I agree.
LeBron should just retire. He can't do that though until he breaks Kareem's record, right?
He's gonna
He
break
can't
it.
do it until he breaks Kareem's, because then when he breaks Kareem's record, he's gonna say, you know what? I
I'm
may have
good.
more championships, but I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't think WWE Prism, this is Love What You Collect. Card designs are good. They are whack and overhyped. Tops is way better looking. I mean, I can't disagree with that. But the market dictates what
Mhm.
is going to keep its eye on. Don't sleep on my heat. All right, fire, fire. I see the fire in your logo. I know you got the heat, but I think we're gonna sleep on the heat, man. I don't think the heat is not fire. I know you're not saying that the Heat are gonna win a championship this year.
No, they're not.
No. Officially, Getty. FD, I'm mad. I didn't get to talk to you at the show Saturday. You were right by my table, then turned around and dipped out. Really? I dipped? I was there for a while. Sorry I didn't get a chance to see you though. I would love to have seen you, but let me know where you're gonna be coming up in the next couple of months. Love to talk to you. I love Jimmy Butler. 5 exclamation points. Don't hate on my guy. Love his confidence, and he is a straight hooper with heart and a lot of dog in him. I would have him on my team any day of the week. But let me ask you this, Love What You Collect. You'll have him on your team, but what about when he's your opponent?
Yeah, I don't. I don't.
I
Jimmy
love I
Butler.
love the clip when he tried to test Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards kind of turned and looked at him, and then Jimmy Butler was just, kind of looking around. I just love what you collect, Eric. I just think that he tests situations until one is just exhausted with him trying to test the situation. To me, it's a totally different. And he tests his teammates. Like he ran Cat into the ground, right? He kind of almost like broke that guy for what reason? Did he think he was soft while he was in practice on the team with him? Then why did he go to the Minnesota
Yeah.
Timberwolves? Because I can tell you this, right? If I think a player is soft, and let's say JD played with him or JD played with someone that played with him, I can find out what we think of Cat before I even sign with the team. So why would you sign with the team, then come there and then dog Wiggins down into the ground, dog Cat down into the ground? I just asked the question: what has Jimmy Butler done?
Nothing.
It's another thing that if Kobe is like if Kobe's on Dwight Howard, Kobe has
That's
a
different.
he has a
He
resume,
he has a resume.
done something. I can understand why he's talking to Dwight Howard. Kobe, they say he didn't sit well. Jalen Rose told a story about.
Yeah, about the Yeah, with Matt Barnes. Yeah, I believe it too.
No. This is a story when Kobe's with Rose
Yeah, yeah.
and Dwight Howard calls Kobe.
About the LA scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Kobe that didn't sit well with Kobe from day one. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna challenge this guy from out the gate. I'm gonna challenge him.
There's nothing wrong with that either. They're just pushing you to be the better person.
Let me ask you this, Eric. Let me just ask you this question: do you think Jimmy Butler can lead a team to a championship,
Nope.
or be a key contributor to a team to a championship?
I don't think so.
I just don't think so. 2/3 of the NBA make the playoffs including the play-ins, while regular season besides owners' home game money. That's why the NCAA dance is the best tournament. NBA going the participation trophy route. I will say this, Robert: the tournament is getting it's not as good as it used to be.
No.
You know, you got your cream of the crop talent moving over to the NBA, so you have you know people left around, and then determine is the best of that. So it's a little bit different when you have Magic out there for a few years running with Michigan State. You have Grant Hill playing for 4 years. You got Lou Alcindor playing for 4 years. You don't have any players like that anymore. That's just really sticking around. What are your thoughts on the Wolves? I can see them winning a first round series.
Well, it depends who they match up with, but I can
Yeah,
see him winning one too.
yeah.
Because they have that we haven't been there, so they don't know what they're doing mentality. So we'll see.
This would be full circle. Super bad. LeBron for Wiggins if LeBron wants to come to the Warriors. I
Mm,
don't. LeBron is. I don't think LeBron will ever play with Steph Curry.
no,
I think Steph would probably tell people let's not even talk about that around here. All right. What's good, FD and JD and everyone? What's up, Chance?
what's up,
Chance,
Chance?
love what you collect. Yes, Jimmy can lead a team to win a chip, and don't count him out on this playoff run. The Heat can win it all. Don't sleep on that team and Jimmy leading them. So each week, I think we should just bring up here like where the Heat.
Hmm.
What's happening with the Heat right now? I just don't
Yeah,
see that.
no. Before we go, I don't think so. I don't. Before we jump out of here, I don't. I don't think when it comes down to it, Jimmy will get you a game in a series, but he can't win you a series. That's how
Let's
I
look
see
at
it.
some stats right quick. Just to see if I'm talking out of Jimmy Butler. And I thought high more. I thought more of Jimmy Butler with the Bulls, the way he worked his way up. I love his story. This is totally separate than the story. I love where he's come from, what he's done with himself. Um, and I know I got a feeling that what drove him out of that drives him in the NBA. So I get that. But okay, so this year he's averaging 21 points a game, 6 total rebounds, almost 5.5 assists. Um, we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, Philadelphia, he averaged 18. Minnesota, he averaged 22.
Well,
Miami,
when
he averaged 21. Chicago, he averaged 15. Came up with Chicago.
I think next week we'll have a better idea where everybody's at because the playoff starts next Saturday or this
Who,
Saturday.
who's
So we'll
Miami
see.
playing? Who's Miami playing just straight out the?
It depends who gets the eight seed because
Oh yeah,
they clinch.
right.
So
Yeah.
maybe next Sunday we'll have a better idea how it's gonna go. Because right now we're
Fire,
just speculating.
Fire said Heat versus Suns final. Heat and
No,
Suns.
I'll tell you why the Heat before we really get up. I'll tell you why the Heat can't win it. Won't win it all because they don't have a person. Their best scorer is Tyler Hero. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Tyler Hero can't get you a bucket at the end of the game. He's gonna have to run through like 20 screens to get the ball. You
And
know?
Shane says the Celtics are going to bounce
Yeah,
along.
I believe the Celtics might come out the East the way they're playing. Oh, I don't the way they're playing. So we'll see.
It'd be interesting. Let's meet up. We'll meet up here on next Sunday, and we'll
No,
talk about
next Sunday we'll go through each series and then we'll
each
say
series.
who's and then
Hello.
maybe
We'll talk about what we have seen.
I'm not sure I understand.
sorry, but
It will be interesting. JD, you got any final words before we get up out of here?
no, I think I got I guess I could
Can
announce
you
it.
tell the people what are the next shows you're going to be at? Do you know?
Just the Del Mar. I think I'll drop something that week when the Del Mar one starts that weekend because I might drop something. I might drop something before that, so we'll see. But
Okay.
for sure, Del Mar, we're gonna link up and do something. Maybe premiere.
I'm going to be at LA proper
Oh
next
yeah, that's this week.
for a little bit. Yep, I'll be there. LA proper and then it'll be time for Delmar.
I think Premiere has a show before, the week before.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to Premiere. Yep.
But I might take a break, because then I'll just go crazy on Delmar.
Are you gonna stay? Are you gonna be there for 1 day or 2 days?
No,
If you come, what do you think?
I think I want to try this new segment out. So if everything aligns, I might do both days. But right now, this one. So we'll see.
All right. Can't wait to see you, man.
I know, me too. I wanted to see you yesterday, but things happened.
No, it's all good. It's
But I
all
mean,
good, man.
what episode we at now? We have 5 already. It's only getting better too.
Yeah, I enjoyed the conversation tonight. It was a good, it flowed well. Good conversation.
We getting better with time, man. That's all it is.
I enjoyed everyone that's here. And what I want to tell people too is that I love, like, with Fire and Love What You Collect, being very excited about their teams. Keep bringing that. I mean, I love that.
Yeah, it's good conversation.
If you were talking about the Bulls in '90, if you were talking about the Bulls in '89, I'm right there with. I'm telling you about who they're going to beat, what's going to happen. I love that. So keep bringing it. And I think JD said it best. We're all just speculating. My word is no different than anyone else's on here when it comes to something before that has happened.
Yep.
So then we'll see. We'll watch the series. The Celtics, I mean, the Heat may bounce somebody out. And you'd be like, FD, I told you that was going to happen. And then I'll humbly say, you were correct.
Yeah.
You were correct. But thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. It's special. We are at episode 5. Maybe we'll try to get into this one next week, talking about Neo deals.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that one. That's going to be a good one.
Robert, we will jump into this with the next episode. Great pod. Thank you, Dex Flow. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're trying to ever evolve this thing. So if you have feedback, you let us know. I really enjoy. I look forward to this conversation every Sunday. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all. Talk to you later.
All right.
And we're rolling.